Okay, so in today's video, we are doing another comparison. It is going to be, of course, the all-new 2021 Samsung Galaxy Tab A8 versus the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. Now, it may sound familiar simply because we did one already with the Galaxy Tab A7. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, first things first, and I want to put an emphasis on this. This is not a full deep dive, comprehensive comparison video where I, examine every detail and make a comparison between these two tablets. This is essentially just me highlighting some very key points, some very key aspects of both devices that you should keep in mind while, assuming, of course, you are considering purchasing either one of these. So I'm highlighting some key points that you should keep in mind to help your purchasing decision, because these two actually are a lot more similar than you would think. Now, there are a few major differences, and those are the ones that I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the design. Let's start off from the top, right? Design. The Galaxy Tab A8 is pushing what, 10.5 inches display versus the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is pushing a 10.4 inches display. That is essentially the same size we had on the Galaxy Tab A7, I believe, 10.4 inches as opposed to 10.5 here. So it is slightly larger, but the resolution here, so this one is a little bit more pixel dense because the resolution is slightly higher here. You have a resolution of 2000 by 1200 versus a resolution of 1920 by 1200. Just like it was the case with the Galaxy Tab A7 when compared the Galaxy Tab A8 to the Galaxy Tab A7. And on that same front, we have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and that's going to be the case also for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera or selfie camera. So they are sharing the same camera. Same deal with the back here. You have one camera on the back, and on the Galaxy Tab A8, you will notice that it's a round camera. It's a one camera module that is round, as opposed to what you have on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is squarish. Actually, it is designed to essentially match the corners that you have on the device itself. Now, everything else remains the same in terms of, just the usual suspects: power button, volume rockers, mic, and the micro SD card slot. Of course, that means that you are able to expand the storage on either one of these tablets at up to 1 terabyte using micro SD card. At the bottom here, you have USB Type-C ports on both tablets. Then, of course, we have a headphone jack, which is always good to have. Now, besides the display size being different on both tablets, the next difference that we are going to notice is going to be the speakers. On the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, you have a dual speaker setup. They are right here, and these two are also Dolby Atmos, the same as here, but they are tuned by AKG, so sound quality here is just super crisp, and it's also very well placed so that when you are holding the tablet, you won't cover the speakers. On the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8, you have a quad setup, so quad speaker setup here, 2 on each side. Also great placement for speakers when you hold it like this for entertainment, playing games. You won't cover the sound. And I'm going to say this, which is going to be surprising to a lot of you guys: the sound quality. Well, let's start off with the volume. Volume in terms of how loud it could get, the Galaxy Tab A8 takes it hands down. It is very loud, definitely louder than what you have on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite here. The difference, on the other hand, is that on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, the sound is super crisp versus here. The sound is much better here than it is here, but it is definitely louder on the Galaxy Tab A8. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting, welcome to the channel. Of course, please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. Now, both units are base model, so the Galaxy Tab A8 is the base model, which will come with 32 gigs of internal storage with 3 gigs of RAM, with the option for you, if you were to go for the 64 gigs, that would afford you 4 gigs of RAM. 128 gigs would also offer you 4 gigs of RAM. The Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, on the other hand, starts off with 64 gigs of internal storage with 4 gigs of RAM, and you have the option to go for the 128 gigs of internal storage with 4 gigs of RAM as well. Now, in terms of the platform, this guy here does come with the in-house Exynos chipset, right? So you have an Exynos 9611 here versus the Galaxy Tab A8, which is boasting a Unisoc chipset, which is a Tiger T618. Now, in terms of performance, I'll say they're about the same when it comes down to performance. And let me just say that based off of just my testing, I couldn't notice any difference, right? They are going, it seemed like they were just about the same speed. Now, you know, I don't do a lot of benchmarks here because I know that a lot of you guys don't really care for that, like that. You just want to know what it is like, you know, what the user experience is like, as opposed to just looking at some benchmarks. But anyway, so it is essentially the same when it comes down to speed. But for some reason with the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, I seem to be able to do a little bit more. It could be the 4 gigs of RAM that I have here versus the 3 that I have on my base model Galaxy Tab A8 here, but I'm able to do a little bit more on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite versus the Galaxy Tab A8 in terms of like having a lot more things open and, you know, toggling in between different apps and things like that. Now, in case you weren't aware, the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite did come loaded with Android 10, of course, upgradable to 11, 12, and I believe 13, because I believe it's 3 years. So you had 10. Currently, it's running Android 11 with the Galaxy Tab A8. Currently, well, out of the box, it's running Android 11. So it's going to have a full year or another full major update versus the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which will tap out after its 3 years up. Now, in terms of just using a tablet, whether it's for entertainment, like playing games, watching movies, or anything like that, user experience, in my humble opinion, is the same. To be honest, it's fairly similar. I don't see any major difference right now. I mentioned the displays here being slightly different. You have a slightly larger here on the Galaxy Tab A8 versus the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite here. But anyway, so now let's talk about a couple of major differences right here. The first one is going to be the Samsung DeX support. Now, many of you already know what Samsung DeX is, and if you don't know, you know, check out the videos that I've made on it. Essentially, it is just, let's just call it a program that Samsung has that turns, you know, your tablet into a desktop, you know, in terms of like, at least the GUI, so it looks like a desktop and you can work, you could be a little bit more productive. Now, going back to that major difference, so you have Samsung DeX here, which allows you to be a lot more productive, way more productive than you would be on the Galaxy Tab A8 there. It is just crucial if you're doing multiple things at the same time to have Samsung DeX. It really makes your life easy. And the next major difference is of course the support for the Samsung S Pen. So you have an S Pen here that comes with the tablet, and it's actually pretty good, right? So we could call it the basic S Pen, but it's still a lot more features than many other styluses out there. So you're able to take down notes, draw, and all that good stuff. So, you know, at this point of the video, I'm just going to say this. If you're a student and let's say you have to choose between these two, I'll say just go for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. And that's pretty much it. So if you were to try to recap this video, you will notice that I did focus on just a few of the differences, right? So the size, for example, the Galaxy Tab A8 is slightly larger. Other than that, you know, the camera is the same camera, front facing, rear facing, same camera. The display is slightly different in terms, I mean, beyond the size, in terms of the resolution. The Galaxy Tab S6 Lite is, you know, has a tiny bit, like a resolution that is a tiny bit higher than what you have on the Galaxy Tab A8 here. And it is also a little bit more pixel dense, but the thing is you can't really tell the difference between the two when you put them side by side, right? And then I highlighted the speakers. Of course, that was another difference that you would find here. You have a quad speaker setup on the Galaxy Tab A8 versus the dual speaker setup on the S6 Lite, but of course the sound is crispier on the S6 Lite versus the quad speaker found on the Galaxy Tab A8. Then I highlighted DeX. Of course, Samsung DeX is just a very, very cool feature. Another major difference between the two tablets, and the biggest of all being the support for the S Pen. So if you need a stylus to be able to take down notes and all that good stuff, just go for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite if you can find it at the right price. Now, when it comes down to buying this, should you just go ahead and pay the regular price for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite versus paying the regular price for the Galaxy Tab A8? That's a tough question, but I'm gonna say no, right? Because the S6 Lite has been out for a little while now, and if you were still paying $350, that's a little steep for it. Now it's been dropping every now and then. You get like these flash deals, like, you know, Best Buy had them, I think, like another week or two ago, they had a flash deal where it was selling for like $250. So if you're in the market for either one of these two, this one is going to run you $230. I'm going to say just add another 20 bucks, especially if you're a student, add another 20 bucks on top of that and look to see if you can find, you know, a good deal on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite for $250. That seems to be the baseline when the price drops on the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. It just drops to about $250. I've seen it with Best Buy, I've seen it with Target even at one point, I've seen it with Walmart, obviously. So just keep your eyes open for deals if you are trying to buy either one of these two. And of course, I'm talking if you are solely focused on buying either one of these two. Now, with all of that being said, like I always say, the first thing you need to do, even before buying a tablet, is figure out why you want to buy a tablet. If you're just looking for something for entertainment, then the Galaxy Tab A8 is plenty. It's better. As a matter of fact, just go buy the Galaxy Tab A7. That will cover, you know, it got you covered. It can, you know, you can check your emails, watch movies, play games, and all that good stuff. Now let's quickly talk about gaming. When it comes down to gaming, I found it to be slightly better on the Galaxy Tab A8. Right, so if you are in the market for, you know, you're considering either one of these two, and you feel like you're going to be doing a lot more gaming than anything else, the Galaxy Tab A8 would be the way to go. It seems to be handling gaming a tiny bit, a very tiny bit better than the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. But anyway, that was just my quick dive into the Galaxy Tab A8, the 2021 Galaxy Tab A8 versus the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. I may actually have to make a longer video down the road, a more comprehensive one where I touch up on every aspect, on, well, not every, but on most aspects of these two tablets. But until then, of course, make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Share the video if you know anyone who'll be interested in it. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.